one of the mandates with me coming in was get this mine into production. Today we're sitting at circa 4 times the share price. We've got $500 million plus in liquidity in the company, and we are literally building a gold mine. We are the highest grade undeveloped project in Australia of scale. We are focused on being a high grade underground producer. Average production rate 120,000 ounces. It's 550 million a year in cash flow. We know there's a lot of companies watching. Everyone's always talking to us, like, excited. We can't wait for this to come up and be shown to the market how well it will work. It's going to change the global mining industry, not just Australia, but all over the world. Getting financing for a bank is not easy. They are so anti-risk. So it's really a big ticket. Just got to look at it and go, right, we need to simplify. You're big and complex. There's too much stuff to go wrong. Just listen. Don't be the first one to come out. Land. Listen to everybody. Absorb it and then make the right decisions.
Today we're joined by Philip Wilding, Managing Director and CEO of Rox Resources, one of the most closely watched gold development stories in Western Australia right now. Rox has officially moved from explorer to developer, secured $350 million in project financing, pulled the trigger on final investment decision at Youanmi, and is targeting first gold by mid-2027. With over 2.17 million ounces in resources and one of the highest grade underdeveloped gold projects in Western Australia, there's a lot happening. Phil, welcome to the Gold Room. Mate, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us here.
Not a problem. Mate, we always start every episode with the life and the times. So take me back to your early years. Who was young Phil?
Me, I was a kid, grew up mostly in Adelaide. Gawler on the side of Barossa Valley. I got a couple of older sisters who, funnily enough, both entered the mining industry at certain points in their career, an industrial chemist and a metallurgist. Fair bit older than me as well.
A fair bit. What was the gap?
5 and 7 years older. So, yeah, dinosaurs in relation to me. But, I grew up there. My dad spent a lot of time in a RAF, a lot of travel. Been into a new company in the early 90s. Good timing when we moved back to Adelaide itself. Took up fishing at that stage, so my life revolved around fishing, boats, rivers, whatever we could do, going out to jetties.
Awesome.
With a few close mates. Dealt with water skiing. Used to love doing that, particularly in uni days, even joined a couple of ski clubs, the racing on the slalom skis. It's one of the benefits we had being in South Australia. We had an awesome river system. We get in private areas and just disappear. But, with the old man, he had time in mining. So in the early 90s, when he got into the company, he was servicing the mine sites. So Roxby Downs, Lee Creek, Cobar, up in the Tanami as well.
Wow.
So had a bit of an exposure. But
Did it take you along on any trips?
Not really on those ones. When I got older, he moved over to Asia when I started uni in 2001. Singapore for 3.5 years and Beijing for 3.5 years. With those, I did get to do a few pretty cool things, jumping inside big cruise ships, having a look at the RO systems, which he was working on.
Wow.
Did see the subs, some destroyers around the place as well. So it was all exciting stuff. But when he was in a RAF, that was where it was more fun. F-18s,
Wow.
Hornets, the helicopters. My dream was to be a pilot, but too tall. One of the bigger challenges. So I ended up in mining.
Yep.
And
Off to what university?
I did uni South Australia.
Okay.
So I was one of the second to last years to finish that uni before it moved to uni Adelaide. And it was pretty cool. Close to home. My sisters both went to the same uni as well, so had a lot of good connections through there. Great mates in that area as well. But,
So did your sisters talk you into, so they were already doing mining, did they have a little whisper in the ear, hey, young fella, get into this?
Not really. It was actually quite funny with how I got to the mining industry. Again, there was influence because the old man had been around it. My sisters had both been in it. Did visit my sister on site out at Browns Creek. That was a year before it flooded.
Okay.
So she was a graduate there. We went up for a site visit. Not long later, they hit the aquifer. But no, I literally read the jobs guide in year 10. This is back in 98. Mining engineering, highest paid profession in Australia.
Awesome.
So that became option number 1, followed by aquaculture, aeronautical engineering, and then civil engineering. So it was an interesting little path, but I knew which one I was going to get into.
Yep.
And it's an industry I've loved ever since joining it. As a guy, I guess, boy, blowing things up, playing with big toys, can't beat it.
No, not at all. Not at all. So where was your, out of uni, What was your first role?
First job was at Cadia, so Ridgeway, Ridgeway Deep Transition as a graduate there. Yeah, it was fantastic. I didn't really want to do FIFO at that point.
Young family?
Nah, I did have a partner at the time. But yeah, if it was first time out of home for herself, so we moved on from that one. But I'd done the 2-1 rosters for VAC work, Cannington and West Angeles,
Yep.
back in summers of 02 and 03. But just decided I want a residential, want to be home, and the Ridgeway mine was a world-class deposit. It's sort of a great one to start as a graduate, but also a terrible one to start as a graduate.
Yeah, okay.
It's an ore body where it was a textbook. What they designed, how they executed it, it was textbook perfect. The conditions in the mine, just phenomenal. Everything was great. Then I moved to Western Australia and saw reality. You can see a big difference between a FIFO workforce and a residential workforce.
Yeah, definitely. Tuning up to T3 or T4 or at for Qantas or
National Jet all those years.
Yep.
We went to the big terminals.
Yeah. Mate, look, I want to get into a little bit of Westgold to Rox. Let's get into that.
Yep. Yeah, so I guess like when I moved to WA, it was 2007. Did a bit of time at Telfer. Then I transitioned down. I wanted to get to a small company, out of the big companies, because they're really stuck in their ways. So I joined Panoramic and Frankie just before the GFC started. And that was an eye-opener. Going down, I saw mesh for the first time, paste, underhand cut and fill, terrified myself.
Yep.
So it was good getting down. I did some operations time there, but I was landing mostly. And that was great. Went through their GFC. We kept the site going. Then I had the opportunity to go work with my sister, my oldest one. She was, I think she was senior med or superintendent. It was at Jaguar, so I did transition up to there before joining Northern Star. Where that was just an awesome experience. Sitting under Bill Beaumont as the MD, Jonesy.
He's doing all right for himself, isn't he?
Done a fantastic job through his career, and a lot of us have learnt huge amounts. Like you look at Jonesy, Lawson, Stralo, we were a pretty close team up there.
Yep.
Back in early 2011, learnt a lot before I moved out. That region where I eventually ended up into Westgold in 2013. It was Lacer back then down at Higginsville. Just had my first kid. So I'd step back from my manager's job to an alternate to try and chill out a little bit, and the gold price tanked. That was interesting. We had a big royalty package on mine, underperforming assets, but we turned it around, got a sales process. Metals X came in. That was when I met Peter Cook, and he's been a fantastic mentor ever since. So that was in late 2013. But yeah, we turned that operation around. I think the first year of ownership under Metals X was 100 million profits. Then Cookie started expanding it. We got the Meeker assets. I did a transition up there to go start the Paddy's ore body as the mining manager. We got that into production. Then I went and did a stint in 2017 in the corporate side. Studies for Big Bell to permitting at Big Bell. The first thing I saw in the Metals X book is they owned Day Dawn asset. They owned the Big Bell assets. And from my caving background, I wanted to go start that Big Bell cave. And that was a monumental job, getting that thing open.
In what way? What sort of permitting did you have to?
Permitting was the easy part, but going into an old mine, 600 metres deep, with 6 million cubic metres of water in it.
Wow.
No one's done that before in Australia. We were the first big underground dewatering project. The pit was the easy part, 2 million cubes of water. Then we had 4.5 million cubes for underground. And it's a case of how do we do it?
How did you do it?
A lot of bore pumps. And I'll emphasise a lot of them. We lost plenty of them, smashed plenty of them, rocks falling in shafts before we really nailed methodology. And the big one was bringing bore pumps into the underground mining world. No one was really doing it at that stage. Even in pits, it was all still just get the diesel pumps pushing down, get the old 90 kilowatt pumps, push them out.
Yep.
We started using bore pumps. They're more efficient, they're cheaper. So a lot less power requirements for the same flow rates. But underground, we had raised bores. We just drilled pilot holes, target the decline, push the pumps down, and just getting the sequencing right. That was just really the biggest challenge. But ultimately, we did that mine pretty well within 6 months of target, and production came in on track.
That's what you want. That's what the stakeholders are after, mate. So that's a great start. So you were at Big Bell?
Yep.
How long?
Well, I sat in the queue operations for quite a while because I then took over as GM for about 3 years. where, we had the Comet mine. We were starting up Fingal, doing an inwall ramp there, had multiple pits going and Big Bell, and commissioning our Tuckabianna mine processing plant. That was a big job.
There's a lot going on, Q, isn't there?
Yeah,
Or the Murchison.
I went from a team of 50 to a team of about 500 overnight. And that was exciting, but I got to build that team up as well. And we made it a pretty successful mining centre. I did that for a few years, and then we had our third kid. And that was my time to get out of mine.
Yep. Get out of mining?
Well, off the mine sites.
Yep.
FIFO, it's challenging. GM, such a big operation, 4 and 3 rosters. With a kid, I knew it wasn't going to work again after already having a couple.
Yep.
And the challenges of that, working 8-6s. So took a role in projects corporately, which was pretty exciting because I got to learn the backside of the business. I had a fantastic mentor there in Steve Robinson. He was brilliant. Rhodes Scholar, economist.
Where's he now?
Unfortunately, he's got motor neuron.
Oh,
so
no.
retired last year.
Okay.
But one of the smartest, nicest guys you'll ever meet. He's been a director. He's been a chairman of companies. But he really put the time into me to make sure I understood what I needed to get to. And more than anything, he actually kept me on the right path to get to really where I am now as well, to stick it out.
That's awesome.
We had the challenges within the group, and those challenges ultimately led to me becoming the COO for Westgold.
Did you enjoy that role? A bit of pressure, I can imagine.
It was yes and no. So I guess I'd been in a company for a long time at that stage. I'd seen things which I wanted to do, couldn't get done. It was a growth story. Things were growing, but not necessarily in the right way. So the job which I came in when Wayne became the MD, I became the COO the next day. The mandate was make money. We hadn't done that for a long time because it was always growth at costs. Just make it happen. So we did a critical analysis across the business. We were doing budgets, found some holes, and that then triggered a restructure. We came out, we put a new guidance out, told the market didn't like it whatsoever. Our share price tanked, market cap went down.
Why didn't the market like it? Why do you think?
It was getting smaller after a big growth story. And I get it. Markets want growth. They want you to get bigger year on year and make money. But at some point, every now and again, you just got to look at it and go, right, we need to simplify. When you're big and complex, there's too much stuff to go wrong. Markets were tight, getting people, getting gear. We just couldn't do everything. So we wound down the open pits, shut multiple undergrounds, and just brought it back to a core business. But big one is we did exactly what we said we'd do to the market. We hit guidance. We made a little bit more money than we expected to, which is great. Turned things a little bit quicker. We set the business up to then go into a sustainable growth phase. And ultimately, we went to a 350 market cap. Once I left, we'd started the Big Bell expansion. We started a Great Finger expansion. We started the Bluebird expansion. We'd drilled all the ore bodies, gone from 6-month reserves. We had 7-year reserves plus on all assets. And it was a $3 billion company on the back of the Karora merger. So for me, it was time to get out. 11 and a half years. I needed a break.
Yep.
I lost my old man in that period as well. Most of my time as a COO, he was in hospital battling cancer.
Sorry, mate.
So, yeah, it happens.
Yep,
it is what it is, but I just worked through it. Work was great because it was a distraction.
Yeah.
And a big one.
I use it like that sometimes too, mate.
It's like 1,200 odd people sitting underneath you to look after, keep them employed. It keeps your attention.
Yep, for sure.
So I took a break, and that's how I came to Rox.
Mate, let's get into the Rox story.
Yeah, so Rox, it's an asset where at Westgold we had a BD team. Yep. We were looking at everything. So I already knew a little bit about the mine. Literally, as I hit the market, the company released its pre-feas study, and it was a really good study. It's a high-grade mine. It was low cost, good mine life. CapEx was moderate. Compared to the market cap, it was huge. But the market just wasn't giving it any traction. The story on the metallurgy, definitely a big challenge for it. So I liked it when I got a phone call. Major shareholder called us up. Hey, we'd like you to business in a leadership role, which was ultimately the CEO's job. Did all my DD, made sure the ore body, happy with that. Met work, met up with a few people, get my head around that. Nathan Stoidis, one of those, on our board.
Yep.
And ultimately, I think started mid-October with a share price at about 11 cents. Straight away, we went to a recap phase. marketing like crazy, getting some investors behind the story, get that share price moving a little bit. And we pulled $27 million. So
Beautiful.
26 raised plus $1 million SPP. Company had never done anything like it. It was daunting, but it really came to support of two of our major holders, Q Gold and Hawke's Point Capital. But that set Rox up on the path to become a producer. So that funding was all about getting the money in so I could start dewatering the asset, get the drilling done, but deliver a DFS. We'd always wanted to do early works. One of the mandates with me coming in was get this mine into production. Because as I said, it was a good PFS. So we used that to our advantage. Pushed the story out, got an investor base on board with our processing solutions. Well, today we're sitting at circa 4 times the share price. I've got $500 million plus in liquidity in the company, and we are literally building a gold mine.
Yeah, beautiful. Let's go into building a gold mine in Western Australia right now. What does it take? Who are you using?
It takes a lot of work. So we've partnered up with several key suppliers. So like for us, the earliest one to get done was the camp. There's a big lead time on camps. We selected that group. They do a fantastic product. Some of the best rooms in the industry, and I'm seeing they're picking up more and more contracts lately as well. And the operators love it. So they've been in building the camps. Everything's landed. We're only a couple of weeks away now, finishing all the installation works, getting it ready for commissioning. Mining-wise, we've got Burncut in there.
Okay.
And biggest of the global underground miners. They've been fantastic to deal with. The team I've got on site, they're guys I worked with back in Telfer days. I've got Grazza as my project manager. He's awesome. My jumbo operators, done multiple projects with a couple of the key guys, and they want to come work with us again as well. So they've been good to get up on site. And last month, I think they were about 70 metres over budget. So fantastic results.
Yeah.
You never want to be going slow. Always happy to go faster. Then the mill, we've got Interquip on that one. So previously Macca Interquip. We're getting very close to finalising negotiations there. Intention to be mobilising in the next couple of weeks to physically start building. Groundworks are done.
That's amazing.
Getting ready to go.
What about, how big's the plant going to be?
So we're going to put a 1 million tonne plant in.
Okay.
Mine plan's only 900,000 tonnes, so we've got some latent capacity sitting there, and it's always over-engineered. So, but I guess the big one for us, it's not a normal. So very different processing technology.
Run me through that.
So front end of the plant, it's typical. Jaw crusher, a couple of cones, into a ball mill, 75 micron product. No different to anybody else in the goldfields. But this is where we start getting different. We've got a sulfide ore body. So we're really building a sulfide plant. We'll do a flotation circuit after that. The idea being we want to get a concentrate. So we pull about 93% of the gold out into a con. That con's 45, 50 grams a tonne, but it's about 9% of material. So 1 million tonnes feed, we've got 90-odd thousand tonnes of concentrate to deal with. The float underflow, that still goes into the leach circuit. We get about 60, 70% of that gold. But with this concentrate, we've got sulfide minerals, pyrite and arsenopyrite. Pyrite, fine grind, get rid of that easily. Arsenopyrite, though, it needs a partial oxidation phase. We get this, we'll put it through an isomill, about a 12 micron grind. Isomills, there's circa 130 of those operating globally.
Wow.
So everyone knows them, they're simple. I'm pretty sure Superbit's got one sitting out there as well. That gets our pyrite. And this is where you've got naysayers on process technology we're using. If we did nothing else at this stage, we're still a 85,000 ounce per annum producer. We still make ridiculous cash flows. And that's if everything post has failed, which it's not going to. It's always going to improve it. We're then putting the albumin tanks in. So albumin's Glencore Technologies, super simple process. It's just another leach tank. It's atmospheric pressures. We add sulfur, that's our concentrate. We add limestone, get our pH right down to around that 5, 5.5, and oxygen. Combine those three together, generates heat, self-starting, self-sustaining reaction, and cracks the sulfides. That then lets the cyanide get into it, leach circuit, dissolve the gold. We can pour a gold bar on site.
Beautiful.
Small capital investment, but massive extra returns over doing a con. The biggest one about it is like most ore bodies in WA, there's a refractory nature to them. There's also a lot of shallow sulfide refractory nature ore bodies around Australia and globally where this technology has the ability to unlock significant value at low cost. Because WA in particular, not many people are bothering to touch it. You've got Super Pit, you've got KB, you've got Hemi. It's the only really refractory ore bodies.
Do you think there'll be large number of other mining companies that will be watching and looking at what you're doing and maybe following suit.
We know there's a lot of companies watching. Everyone's always talking to us, like excited. We can't wait for this to come up and be shown to the market how well it will work, because it's going to change the global mining industry, not just Australia, but all over the world. Glencore hasn't really pushed this tech out. It's been sitting in such a big company with no motivation, whereas now they've got motivation to get it out.
Yep.
We're going to build the first modern plant, and we're going to build it in the Western mining world on a gold side. Again, it's been used in gold before. The plant over in Armenia, it was quite successful. But to crack the market here, that's where there is a huge opportunity to sit there.
So they're sitting there backing you.
There's a lot of support coming from that team to make sure this is going to work.
Mate, let's get into $350 million in funding. How did that all come about? Who are your supporters there?
Well, that's part of the funding. That's the debt.
Yeah.
So we've got $300 million in direct project finance. We've got a $20 million cost overrun facility and the $30 million for the bank bonds. That's really headed up 4 banks. So we've got Westpac, SocGen, Sumitomo, and HSBC.
Multiple banks across the world.
Yep. So again, having a big international support, but even having an Aussie in there, really a testament to the project.
Yep.
Project development financing, particularly with a syndicate, hasn't been happening much. You really got to look back over the last few years. Like we've got Bellevue, Calidus, they had financing, but our friends at Macquarie were sitting behind those. And
Calidus didn't bloody end up too well, did they, mate?
No,
Macquarie turned around and said, no, mate, no more funding for you.
Yeah, hedge books have hurt a lot of people. We've all learnt from it. So, yeah, thanking those guys for teaching us the lessons.
Yep.
We're going to try and make sure we don't do the same thing. So we've got puts in place, for example. So we bought an insurance policy for a floor price of $5,700 for half our first year's production.
Okay.
And it's a very cheap insurance.
Some safety barriers in place.
Yep. But getting project finance, so you had those, you had Liontown, had a large facility, you had De Grey, had a large facility. They never got used. So the banks were sitting out there, they're hungry. They really, really want to get out developing projects in Australia. So a lot of appetite. We started the process in May last year, getting in front of them. We used our PFS as an initial basis and came up with some models, got some indicative offers. Now super strong. So we stayed on that project financing path. Bringing ITEs in, independent technical experts. We used SRK. They've been fantastic to work with. But more than anything, it's validated the project. So it's not just for us. Like us, it's great. We've got the faith. But now we've had specialists tell us, yes, we believe it. They've then told the banks, and the banks are backing off that. Getting financing through a bank is not easy. They are so anti-risk. So it's a really big tick, and it's one which we're starting to push out. It's like to investors, those who have been sitting on the fence, it's like, well, the banks are behind it. The independents are super behind it. This project is going to work. The project's going to make a lot of money. So that was exciting. And then we coupled that with the raise we did back in November. So we did 200 million placement and 18 million SPP. I think that was coming off a market base of about a 320 market cap. So it's a huge raise. Yeah, there's a little discount, but our key has been make sure every raise is at a higher price than the last one to make sure all those people have come in and supported us at the right times. They're still making money and they're still well up today, which has been great. But we brought some big guys in, some supporters there, like our major shareholder, L1 Capital now. They're over 19% holding.
Yep.
Fantastic. And a whole bunch of strong North Americans behind us as well, and our existing guys.
Mate, let's get into Youanmi. So there's a lot of gold companies out there, and it's a competitive market trying to get investment. Yep. So what are you guys doing differently?
Well, I think we're just communicating how good the story is.
Yep.
And like
that's what it's about, telling a great bloody ripper story, isn't it?
At the end of the day, there's a few big things, but the back of the business card is the way we like to refer to it now. It's not the back of the envelope, it's a lot smaller than that. Gold price I think at the moment is about 6.2, 6.3 Aussie. So we've got a all-in sustaining cost of circa 2,000.
Beautiful.
4.2, 4.3 margin, average production rate 120,000 ounces. It's 550 million a year in cash flow.
Yep.
Our market cap's about that today. It was yesterday anyway for a terrible day on the markets.
Mate, I didn't ask you this.
Ourselves.
I didn't ask you this before. How long is this bloody plant going to take to before you're churning out gold bars?
Well, all going well, in about a week or so, we'll have the guys on site starting construction. The pads are pretty well done now. The intention is by the middle of next year, we'll be holding that first bar.
Beautiful. May, June, July?
June, July.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Mate, high grade matters, right? And so let's talk about some of the pits and the grade.
Yeah, so when I came in, we had a lot of pit resources, but nothing in a mine plan. I've actually wiped all the pits out in resource model last year. We did that intentionally because there's just no foreseeable path forwards to bring him into production with the methodology we're using on site. We're building a sulphur plant. It's a fresh rock plant. So the underground, we've got overall there's 2.2 million ounces at 5.8 grams, but the underground's 2.1 million ounces at 6 grams a tonne. There's a little chart. It was on a newsletter that came out yesterday from Min Metals. We are the highest grade undeveloped project in Australia of scale.
Awesome.
Right at the top. Adding tonnes, that's easy. Adding grade, pretty hard for a project. So we can always lower our grades, push it right out, but we are focused on being a high grade underground producer.
What's high grade now?
Well, for us, our planned mining grade's 4.9 grams a tonne.
Amazing.
So 900,000 tonnes a year of that. It's going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I guess having grade allows the site to put the technology in place, but also it's allowing us to spend the money on infrastructure to ensure we can attract talent and retain talent in the company. That's a big challenge in the industry right now too.
Yeah. Are there some pivotal people in the market that you're currently looking at? You'd like to swipe over?
Yeah, no, we're getting close to pulling our next major hire in place, which will be a process manager's position.
Yep.
So that's exciting for us. The rest of the team, corporately, we're pretty well full. Mining teams wise, we've got a fantastic group of guys out and girls on site as well. Going to give them a bit more bench strength shortly too, but there's a lot going on.
Beautiful. Mate, next 12 months, what does it look like for you? Obviously,
hectic.
Yeah, hectic. Not including the build of the processing plant, but the company in general.
Yeah, like for me, I'll be up on site quite a lot now. My site, I'm a mine builder. That's what I love doing. I love building teams, love building projects. I love getting mines from development to production stage. So oversight there, that's going to take up a lot of time. But we've got to keep this story going too. Get those who are going, why are you still going to conferences? And it's like, well, it's pretty easy. If we fall off people's radars, they don't understand what's going on or they don't think we're keeping up, they'll sell the stock or they won't buy it. We get out, we have such a good story. And every day, every release we put out, it's another de-risking exercise. So we like to keep the market informed. We're very open with status of where everything's at.
I think that's important.
It is.
It's very important today.
And like
it's all part of the story, like what you're doing. If you come under, if you go above and beyond, then that's all part of it. You just got to be honest and truthful, right?
Yeah, like we had a whole bunch of meetings last week at a conference, and it's like, yeah, you're in the boring phase. But the key is you guys are executing. You're doing what you say you're going to do. So really for us, it's keeping that message going that, yep, we're on track. Our funding still looks good. We've got a big headway on our funding as well. So we made sure we had the excess, but show where the possibilities are coming. So drilling, we've got rigs on site. We're about to start underground drilling as well. We've got a big greenfields project we want to look at over the next year. So trying to get that information out, show that potential. So when the results come, we've already got people watching.
Yep.
And they'll see it when it gets out there.
Mate, with the current gold price, is that's got to be helping everything that you do, every decision you make, the planning for the future, the drill programs. Do you think it's going to carry on?
Well, the gold price is actually the same as it was when we released the DFS.
Okay.
So we came out late November. I'm pretty sure it was in that low sixes at that stage. But it's sustaining, which is the key. Like, yeah, we're seeing, like, I mainly watch the US dollar side, so it's been bouncing around that $4,500 an ounce mark last few weeks.
We did see it a few months ago up over on the Australian dollar.
Yep.
Over 7.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Wild.
It came back quick too.
Yeah.
So, but I guess from a mining company's perspective, it's great. It means revenue. But the biggest one for a mining company is cost. That's the one of the few things we control. We can't control the grade of the ore body. We can control our execution of the ore body. So it all comes down to managing your cost base to be able to make use of the commodity pricing. So everything we do, it's just focusing on let's deliver what we said we'd do. We've got a DFS. That's our Bible. Yep, things are going to go up and down all around the place. Our target is to try getting as close to that as we can, deliver that first year of production, get the confidence from the market, and then grow the operation.
Beautiful. Mate, I've got exploration upside. So you've already got a huge ore body. What do you have planned for drilling? Do you have a drill program set in stone?
So we've got 25 million drill budget between now and the middle of next year.
Awesome.
It's pretty exciting. And again, for a mine developer, it's a pretty healthy budget. Of that, there's about 10, 12 million of it which has been set aside for greenfields work. Our intention by the end of this year is to have 3 rigs focusing on Youanmi itself.
Do you have a particular drilling company you're using?
Predominantly, we've been using DDH1 and Strike.
Okay.
We do have another group up there at the moment, but those guys have been supporting us since I started the company. They've done fantastic work. We've had up to 5 rigs on site with them. But yeah, the greenfield side is exciting. We did an Aeromag survey last year. We've got New Exco working on that. We've also got a professor from the University of Monash who's working on our project with a PhD student. Now really trying to understand structural controls, why the gold is where it is within the system. So like you look at our ore body, we've got a 62K strike on our tenement package down a large shear zone. You got the Youanmi shear, which we're on. It's about 900 metres away from that zone. You look at current resource, previous production, it's circa 3 million ounces on that. Go 20 k's to the south, right in the middle of our tenement package, you've got Ramili's Penny West mine. That's been circa 17 grams a tonne, but completely different mineralisation, and that's right up against the shear zone. So you've got that. We've got a shear zone, shear-hosted ore body. We've also got a BIF system sitting.
What's the BIF system?
Banded iron formation,
Okay.
which has got gold associated in sulphide. So there's been some old pits mined on that. It also cuts across the northern end of our mine. Again, it holds gold. We semi-understand what's going on there, but this is what we're really looking into now.
And what depths?
We haven't, in our recent drilling, we put a floor at 500 metres. The ore body itself, the deepest hole goes to 900 metres, carrying significant grade, so we know it's down there at depth.
Hard to get to, costly as well.
It's just expensive. It's not worth it, I guess. So we are going to do a surface program on Youanmi, drilling around that 500 to 600 metres on United North. We do see a very quick growth opportunity there, which if that does as we expect, we'll up the production rates from day one. So instead of being 900,000 tonnes, we'll lift it to the million, and there's an extra 10-15% of gold. But when you look at the whole package, other than Youanmi itself and down at Penny West, there's no holes which go more than 40 metres down. Our depth of cover sits between 30 and 80 metres.
Okay.
So no one's actually gotten through that to understand what's going on. And that's part of the Aeromag work and other stuff we're doing. Now got high definition data to help us pinpoint where we should be looking throughout the system. Like, there's lots of little scratchings around, but no one's really followed up on them over the years. Like the whole Murchison's the same. The potential which sits at depth is sort of untapped. For us, having so much ground, it does give that opportunity for growth.
Yeah, that's amazing. Mate, speaking of growth, leadership under pressure. So you've got hundreds of staff.
I've got 35.
Only 35?
Yep, direct staff.
Direct staff. I'm
Yep.
talking about I'm talking contractors. You know, you've got there's a lot of people that rely on you sitting at the top making the right decisions.
Yep. Yeah, we'll have 600 people at peak production. But I guess from my side, as a COO, I ran workforces of 1,200 plus.
Yep.
It was over 2,000 at one stage. As a GM, I had over 700 on my books. And yeah, you do sit there thinking at times like, geez, I am responsible for all these people, all our families, making those right decisions. And for me, like, I've been doing it for years, so you get used to it.
Water off a duck's back.
It is and it isn't. I do sleep well these days because I guess the biggest one is I've built a team of people to help me run this business.
Yep.
It's a whole bunch of people I trust. I've either worked with them before or they've been with us for over a year. You know when you interview someone straight away, are they aligned to my values, how I want to do things, and the path that we want to take? And we've built a team of people who are all very similar. We're all there for one reason. We want to build a plant. We want to hold a gold bar. The whole team has been through a build or a startup at some phase in their career, so they know what needs to be done. And for me, having that support network does make life a lot easier. I don't have to go out and make captain's calls all the time because team, we've got a solution. Let's do it. Make it happen.
Yeah, that's good. It's important to have a bloody a ripper team. You know, like you can't do it all. You got to be able to rely on people. It's very important. Becoming WA's next gold producer. If there's other exploration companies out there, what advice would you be given to them to follow in your footsteps? There's exploration's bloody pumping out there at the moment. There's some amazing companies doing some amazing things, great results. But to be able to take that next step, what do they need to do?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like, there's a few of us who are all starting to build mills right now too.
Alex Rivera, Bright Star's pumping.
Yeah, they're going. Medallion's getting close to production as well. So there's going to be a few mills turning on at the same time, and lots of expansions. The books are pretty full.
Kirkalocka just down the road from you guys.
Yep.
Well, quite far down the road, but you know they're turning everything back on.
Yeah, so I guess when I look at the pathway and network of what's happening right now, I'd be telling the explorers, take your time. I wouldn't commit to building a plant within next year because you're not going to get a team to build it. So it's a great opportunity to get the drilling done, get your metallurgy done, get your mining studies done, and be in a position where, as we're coming off these builds, we're ready to get into them because there's other stuff happening, but you want to come and get these teams, and you want to look at the teams who are delivering.
Yeah, absolutely.
So keep a close attention to what's happening there, but really it's get the right people in early into the business as well. Want to have a great ore body. Exploration's been fantastic. Starting to get your resource models out. Get a good mining engineering. They're hard to get, but start that study work early. Start that foresight early. You've got to start planning how we're actually going to bring this into fruition. Your permitting process, it's not quick. There's a lot of permitting work to be done. Good year's work. And then just got to build it up, make it a robust project. You've got the old rush, like if you go back to 2012, Murchison was a classic. Everyone got in, didn't do the right study work, got operations going. Don't actually think any of them survived going through. They all got taken out. I think they all were owned by Westgold. It was interesting times. It hurt the industry because, again, faith was lost in startups.
Yep.
And I guess what we're all trying to do now is we're coming off some of these startups in recent years where they've had the challenges. It's trying to make sure we've learned from them. So do the same with us. Watch what we all do. Learn from it. If there's any mistakes, come talk to us. See what we'd do differently.
Yeah, all the CEOs that I talk to, they all say the same thing. My door's always open, and most of the people that are in those positions, everyone's got them in their phone book list anyway. So they're asking questions, and that's the great thing. You know, never be too proud to ask a bloody question.
Correct. And like, I'm always chatting to people who built mines.
Yep.
What can you tell me?
Great
what
place
should
to
I
be.
do? And conferences is the best place to catch them. Like, we don't see each other in West Perth. We're always on the road together.
Yep.
So it's always easy just to, hey, let's have a coffee.
Beautiful.
What can you teach me?
Mate, I've got a couple of quick-fire questions. This is some of the viewers have asked if we can chuck in some quick-fire questions. So I've got 5, mate. What's the biggest misconception investors have about building a gold mine?
That it's easy. At the end of the day, things are going to go wrong. You'll have some wins, you'll have some losses. But just trust in a team.
Yeah, beautiful. If you could have dinner with, this is a great one. If you could have dinner with one mining leader, past or present, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'd almost go back to Cookie.
Okay. Yep, beautiful. What keeps you awake at night right now regarding you and me?
Not much.
Okay, great. You did say
It's
that. A little bit of magnesium and, well, for me, melatonin, but you said magnesium.
Yeah, magnesium. My kids keep me awake.
Is Rox still underrated by the market?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Again, the back of the business card, we replace our market cap annually once we're in production. So we're de-risking daily. Everything we're doing, it's a de-risking exercise. By rights, valuations should be lifting. So I think we are well undervalued, but as we start to deliver, as we get closer to production, the opportunity for that re-rate is pretty significant.
Beautiful. What is the best advice you've heard or received?
I guess just listen. Don't be the first one to come out with plans. Listen to everybody, absorb it, and then make the right decisions. That's
bloody beautiful, mate. Look, thank you very much for your time, Phil. It's been I've learned a lot about the company, which is always interesting. I don't currently have shares in Rox, but look, you know, obviously I wouldn't want anyone to follow my footsteps, but you've already got a lot of investment, and I'm going to throw a couple of dollary dues in too, mate.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Not a problem, mate. Thank you very much for checking out another episode on the Gold Room podcast. Make sure you get in, do your own investigation, and have a look at Rox Resources. They're a bloody ripper, Western Australian up-and-comer. Thank you.